really good. Um, it was a nice race, kiddo. Got to tell you, real
Yeah,
happy.
you were good under pressure. Your heart rate got. You
I
My
was
guys
heart
know
gonna
what
rate's
say,
not
the
good.
number is?
I might as well have been jogging apparently. So
Just
you
move the
know,
mic a little closer to your mouth.
I said
Sorry.
I might as well have been jogging.
Yeah, you hit a 173, which blasts my high record out of the water by 40 beats per minute, I
Greg's a
think.
gazelle. He's not even real.
Yeah,
Sorry.
unfortunately, go places quick. I'm meant to pick things up.
Yes, I will. I cannot pick things up and put them down. That's not for me. But no, nice job, dude. So yeah, all in all, I think we had that. I think we had one small error. We went a little wide at one point, but other than that, that was a really solid job you did there. Do you feel a lot more comfortable with the car now, working through the
Oh
race?
yeah, yeah. Just hitting. I was nervous going in that I was gonna make one big mistake like we did in qualifying and just bin the whole thing. But after getting a couple consistent laps in, I could start to feel all right. The car settles in, and this is where it likes it, and you start to pick stuff up. So,
Yep.
um, and that rotation that we were talking about earlier, when you just kind of let it naturally come around, made a big difference.
Yeah, what I like about as much as sim racing, we have the beauty of we have virtually unlimited practice time to drive as much as we
Yeah,
want, try things. You can get comfortable with the track and everything. The most learning per minute you will ever experience is when you're in a race. Like something
yeah,
about the fuel of competition of actually going wheel to wheel with other cars in real time, you figure out so much. I think the big thing in terms of your driving style and like perhaps technique we could work on, the final corner, you were doing a great job on the exit. You did get in quite shallow most of the time. Some of that worked to our favor because we wanted to be a little defensive with the other drivers that are around us, but we got a little shallow, and that's why I was concerned about. That's why I was intentionally telling you on the exit, I want you to open your hands over the crest. If we turned in
yeah,
later to begin with, we would have been straighter earlier in the corner and carried more speed on exit. But like
yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, small potatoes. So nice job, dude. I think that was a really solid race. Glad you had fun. It looks like you picked up 40 iRating points, and I'm not sure where
Hey,
your
how about
safety
that?
rating. But yeah, we're moving up. So
All right. So
Awesome,
as
man.
the
We're
race
looking forward to.
engineer in me, I can't stop. So do you know why you spun in practice?
No, not to a
I
definable
know.
term.
So that's the hardest thing in the world to do.
here, I'm
Uh,
going to pull that up while we're talking about it.
Pro drivers figure this out in the thousandth of a second on how they made the mistake, and they were 2 feet off over here. Oulton Park, as Greg and I were looking at it, there's a lot of undulations. So you have a third dimension in this track of when you can load the front tires or the rear tires. And like Greg was pointing out in turn 16, coming up over that crest like Lime Rock, you have to unwind the wheel to catch the car that's automatically going to happen. And then turn 2, 3, there's a wave where it compresses the front tire first. And if you have wheel in it, it turns the front wheels faster than the rear,
Gotcha.
which sets up a looseness. So that you were actually figuring out a bunch of that stuff, which is nice to see from a driver. But now you have to recognize it and capitalize on
Here,
it.
let's watch it in real time here. So
Sure.
we're coming up to that crest that's coming right here. You're a little,
Yeah, so that's for the compression you're talking about, and I had a little bit of angle in it, and then immediately it just sent me around, right?
yeah, you turned down you turned into the corner a little late. I think you
Okay.
recognize that. So you're like, oh, I need to turn a little bit more wheel angle here. But right at this limit where I'm paused right now,
Yeah.
the tire is like at its absolute limit, and then we go over the crest and we add more wheel. So we ask simultaneously two more things. The car gets lighter over the crest and we add more wheel. The front bites, and then the rear, all of a sudden you're chasing the tail, and it's now it's too late. Like
Now
just
the
literally a
game's
click
over.
later,
Yeah.
now the
Lo-
game's
Love
over.
Greg's words. Great coaching words, kiddo. I got to tell you.
Yeah, you could if you we spent more time in the car, you could anticipate that happened and catch it in real time. But the tough thing with the MX5s is that it's very hard to tell when we're flipping in a good way and like we're getting some extra rotation, and the fine line between nope, now it's way too much, now we need to catch and just go into survival mode. And most of the time, it's really hard to catch unless you can identify that. So that window of when we're crossing the threshold from good slip to bad slip, that's where it really just comes down to having more time in seat time in the car.
Gotcha.
More time in the seat, more debrief, more video review.
Yeah.
You have to, like a child, you have to learn your mistake and say, all right, where did I do this and how? Getting your body to do the next step and not hit that or to recognize it. That's the mystery of being an alien driver, and learning that professionalism, what they see and what they feel is amazing. You're
Yeah,
you're there. You're on the right paths.
that's where like I am by no means an alien. If you guys have watched our live streams, I'm a 2400 out of, I'm racing guys who are sometimes 10 and 12,000, so they're crazy beyond me. That's really like the delineation of like, yep, right there where you could feel the car stepping. That's where, okay, now we need to just survive and keep the car. The other thing you could do that is counterintuitive
What?
in the MX5, what you could have done that would also have helped here in this moment. Okay, right there.
Yep.
All right, place yourself in exactly what the car is doing right now.
Yeah, got
what two things should you be doing? First thing is you're going to be turning to the right, obviously, because we're going to try to catch it. What else should you be doing?
No throttle, no brake at this point.
You're half right. Most people right now are going to do what? They're going to grab the brake pedal, right? Because they're like, crap, I need to stop like really bad.
That's gonna snap. So you're gonna add power.
Yeah, if you go to power here, we don't have enough power. They're going to, in fourth gear in a car with 175 horsepower, we're not going to like blast the rear tires loose and turn it into a drift.
You had me scared a minute.
Yeah. What you do, if you can go back to power here, what that's going to do is it's going to transfer some of the weight to the rear of the car, which is losing grip. We want to add grip to the rear. You catch the wheel to the right a little bit and you go full power as much as we possibly can. And maybe it's enough at this point in this very moment that we could transfer enough back to the rear, take it away from the front. The front's biting right now. We want to take that away from the front. You can maybe catch it and you go to full power and then it'll stabilize and then we can slowly close our hands back to turning into the left again and rejoin. We probably would have lost a little bit of time, but we wouldn't have spun the car out the way that we did. So all in all, I mean, those are very natural, intuitive, or not intuitive. Those are what everyone, the types of mistakes everyone
Since we're on the video, let's run a little bit of a lap on any lap. Doesn't matter. Just talk about what Wayne's got.
Well, I want to see that section where I passed that guy coming into 2.
Oh, that was good. That was
yeah,
really good.
I was kind of having a little bit of fun with it.
Dude, spot on. I got to tell you, I was like, no, don't do it. No, don't do it mentally. I'm like, no, oh, never mind. He's got this full send. Gone.
So this is a good lap to watch. It's the lap that you passed him. We did it right here in these next 2 corners, and it was your fastest lap time. So let's just go through and go corner by corner on this one. So you're doing a great job here at this point. You get an awesome job getting down to turn 1, and he turned in way too late.
Yeah,
that's probably looking in mirrors. He's probably looking where you are and misjudged where he was. So now we're going to continue. You did an awesome job reeling him in here. Nice job taking him out.
My thought process there was sell him the dummy that I'm going to go around the outside and then flick the inside.
That was good. That I was a little concerned that he wasn't going to move to the left. He wasn't going to notice that you even went to the left, and he was just going to go to the right because he was leaving room for you, and then you were going to drive into the back of him. But you did successfully sell him the dummy, so that was good. This actually worked because I think if you watch the video, I said go left, and you went to the right. I'm like, ooh, oh, it worked. Okay, cool. So you didn't do anything wrong. I just think you tried a different move than what I would have done, and it worked. So here we are. So nice job.
You mean the student just taught the teacher something?
I just learned something.
I
gotta tell you, Wayne, right here, this whole combination, like I said, I didn't think he had it. Greg's thinking something else, and you taught us both.
Yeah,
spot
that was
on.
good. That was good. And this is where like the biggest message I could get at this point. Now he's behind us. I don't know. We can't see him in the rearview mirror. We're in front of him. We're feeling really comfortable. He felt the pressure for 2 laps. The biggest message I wanted to get across to you is just drive. Just drive everything you've been doing. We don't need to go any faster. We don't need to brake any deeper. We don't need to roll more speed. He's feeling like I just screwed up. I threw this away. I don't have a chance here. And while he was there the whole time, by simply just hitting our marks and just driving the car as we were doing, we got across the line in front of him. That's all that mattered. We didn't have to do some hero move or try to pull away from him, anything dramatic. So I think you did a solid job from here to the end.
What I like watching is that graph. I don't know if we can see it on the screen, but in the bottom right of my lap time, and it's like, all right, my fastest lap, and then I get a little bit comfortable again. Like you were talking about earlier, the pressure is on to catch up. You find the speed and you find the time.
Yeah, unfortunately, our viewers can't see that right now. We're looking at the pedal cam that's in the same spot. He's just talking about a chart of all of his lap times plotted, so you can kind of see the trend of when he got fast and then he lost a little bit of time. But for our viewers, we like showing the pedal cam instead. So
this corner was an enigma for me. Was I doing that right, or was that the wrong
I
way
thought
to
you were
go
a little
about
tight
that?
on the bus stop. I didn't like it per se, but Greg, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's not the first area I want to work on. For you, there's other places that I'd rather spend the resources on. The only thing I was a little concerned about with a couple times is you got really close to this tire wall on the right. Like
Yeah.
really close, and you didn't hit it, which was fast. But like I'm like he's gonna be 3 inches off one time, and he's just gonna go get shot. In
You're gonna get net coated there. I've done that a number of times when I did the 86 series. I would this exact corner. I would stuff it here or the next little chicane bus stop setup. I'd stuff it on the inside left, trying to get every inch of it.
Yeah, that one was really good. Here, you want to see how close you got? I want to say on
Yeah.
the previous one you got even closer, but let's do the chase cam and wind it back here.
Oh yeah, we're right there.
We were a little off. I mean that's still plenty
close.
fine for this.
Yeah.
The other ones you got less than half of that distance.
Excuse me, I don't care about close. I'm worried about trajectory and speed.
Yes.
So I think that for me it's a little bit shallow when you get too close too early.
Yeah,
It can
because
be,
I was having to slow down after I came through the apex. So, if I was a little wider there, I could have carried more speed out the exit, which I noticed the guy that we were chasing carried more speed out the exit there.
Yeah, what I would,
Good
and
eye.
again, if we're going to dig into finding time here, I'd want you to turn into this left where we are right now. I would delay that a little bit, like go a little bit more down this direction, arc it further to the left on the brake pedal as we come down, and then turn into the right. So rather than be pointed this direction, we're actually traveling more this way to the right here. So that way we can carry more, we'll carry more speed down to the next corner.
Gotcha.
Keep running through the lap, like Greg was saying.
Yeah, we'll keep
good spot on stuff there, but I think there's some better places.
Yeah, overall not a terrible spot at all. This section looked really nice as well. Still getting it a little shallow. Long term, what I would want to work on, if we can carry more speed here.
Yep.
I think in true MX5 fashion, the answer is we run our right side tires over this grass, but we have to get the timing right and comfortable. And you're doing a great job here as we come through this. You're getting all the way to the left here. Perfect. Like I definitely want that every single time. But getting comfortable with timing our lift off of the throttle.
Yeah, I noticed when I was going through that corner in first gear, if I was lifting, I got a lot of snap oversteer. But that's why I was trying to get into second gear. And when I'm looking at it, what I see in front of me is I should be turning in a little bit later and trying to get my tires over that barrier on the inside and be in second gear, lift, let it kind of snap that oversteer just a little bit, and then right to power all the way through.
Yeah, so now we're trying to do the opposite of what caused our spin in qualifying. Is we're trying to coax the car into the good form of slip that we want. So like as you come in here, we're not braking, we're just lifting off the throttle. So you lift and then you go back to power. Kind of, we didn't use the benefit of the throttle lift to help us at all. Like I'd want you to time the lift and the turn in with our hands at the same time. So all of a sudden we're going to load the front and it's going to take this set. And maybe anticipate a little bit of rotation, but I don't think it's going to be enough that it's going to, over rotate the car. We get that done, and we can get our right side tires kind of into this grassy patch, and the left side tires on the white line are a little onto the red and white, and then we hammer down all the way out.
Yep.
We carry a lot of speed on exit. Still, again, not bad. I'm just pointing out the areas that I think we had some time. This next section you're coming to, I think it was your strongest single place every single time.
It was. Yeah. It's a corner he loved.
I enjoyed it, and what I found weird about it was that in qualifying, with the tires not having the temp, the way I was driving that corner just doesn't work.
Yeah, like it only works on hot tires.
Jam the brakes, drop from fourth to third, angle it in, power, a little bit of slip, and then a little hair of a lift, and then right back on all the way through. But I felt like if I was going to do that any earlier in the race, after like before lap 1 or before lap 2, like it.
That's nice. You notice that. That's really nice.
It'd be the death of me.
Yeah. No, I like totally. You cannot do this on cold tires. The commitment level that you had, and it's because if you watch from the outside, we're doing all sorts of that good slip we were talking about. Let's do our far chase cam. You can really, from this angle, we can see really a nice amount of like how much side slip we have in the car. Like you see it, like how the car is kind of just drifting sideways. Yep. Perfect. Like that's honestly what a lot of MX5 stuff is. And then you commit to power and then ride it out all the way out. So let's again go back to our.
That was obvious. Your favorite corner.
Yeah, I like that. That's fun.
Yeah, it was good. Good fun.
I gotta say,
set it and then hammer it, and you got the speed. Just feels so good when you get it right.
Yeah, and I gotta say, what's perhaps the unfair advantage of what we're doing right now with, $100,000 motion sim. the feel that you get through the seat of the weight transfer and having a really comfortable brake pedal and a really good steering set gives you really good detail for that slip, that kind of side slip that we're feeling through there. That, you know, unfortunately, a lot of like the entry level sims,
Don't have
unfortunately,
that.
are just not able to give you. And like
Well,
that's where like,
well, that's
and
what's amazing is his level of detail in what he's discussing right now has to be coming from his time in the sim and everything else, because he's on the granular level of where he's lifting, where he's putting it on the throttle. If you take all that away, that's really hard to do it on a timing sense of just, oh, I need to do this at this time.
Yeah, it was. So we were talking about it earlier, the difference between the static sim. I don't know if we were on the on camera recording yet, but my exact thoughts were this sim gives me that extra 20 or 30% of fidelity where I can sit in it and go, okay, I know I'm right on the edge with the Mazda. I know that I'm going to get that bump and that little bit of wiggle as we come to the corner, versus a static sim that I have at home. You know, where you've got a normal wheel and a great chair, you don't get that extra level, and you just put the angle into the wheel, and you're gone. Um,
yes, the static sims,
that's
you have to rely on your eyes and your hands through the wheel to feel what the car is doing. With the amount of work that we put into the motion system in ours, like I find when I'm driving, a lot of people talk crap about motion sims in like a competitive esports space. If you turn the motion off for me, it's like driving with one eye closed. Like I literally can't feel what the car is doing correctly. You could argue that like Verstappen and like the crazy aliens, that they don't need it because they're so developed without it, and it can complicate it for them. But if they spent enough time with a good one set up to what they want, I think it adds an extra layer of feel in the car.
Yeah,
So
and ultimately, you know, like back to what we do here, and why I'm here and why I'm a member of Chicane Club is I want to get good in the sim, so that when I go on the track, I can translate 1/10 of that into driving in real life, and I want to
Same
have
here.
fun. So
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
the motion for me on the fun level, it's 100% there. And then when I get in a real car, and we've done this before, Greg, when we did Homestead,
yep.
and doing the BMW 235 eyes before in the sim, and then getting down there, you know, all those little nooks and crannies that you'd have to find out about in real life in the car versus your non-motion sim. We already had felt it, we expected it, we knew where they were, we knew what to do when it happened, and you were able to coach us through kind of that experience, and really get an unbelievable track day out of it, because we didn't show up with no knowledge of how that was going to feel. We had felt it in the sim before, and it's really really accurate to what we experienced down there.
Yeah, I'm the first to tell you that no motion sim is ever going to recreate the entire sensory experience that you're going to have in the real car. It's not possible to do sustained G forces. Not even in a Formula One sim are they able to do it, especially not at a 5G load into a corner. It's not possible. What we can do with the motion is, you know, you can feel the onset of weight transfer. You can feel the kind of the haptic sensations, the wheel loss through the, as much as you feel through the wheel, you can kind of feel the seat coordinating with a slip as well. Um, Gear shifts, the kind of the traction changes, the ABS lock, TC, you can feel the onsets of all of those on there. So we get into the real car, it's not like, whoa, what was that? Why did it feel that way? The sustained cornering loads, while they do paint of some more of a vivid picture of where we are with grip in a real car, you're getting a good portion of that, as much as close as we're able to simulate it, more than a non-motion sim. So it's funny. It's all about the context of what we're trying to accomplish in the sim for what the end goal is. If the goal is that we want to just become a better sim racer for the sake of like having fun, that's one thing. If we're trying to become a competitive esports driver, then I'm not about making it necessarily more real. I'm about making it easier or helping you go faster. If we're trying to get ready for a real track day, what is easier or more fun or comfortable in the sim is totally irrelevant. No, that's where we turn the air conditioning, we put the helmet on. We crank the motion up a little bit so it's a little bit more physical, and like it's not about it being necessarily easy for you to drive. It's about what is the real car going to do, and then we try to hold the context of like, all right, we can't go off track every other corner. If that's the skill level that we're at, well, then that's one thing we need to work on. But if like we're driving in such a way that we're just like we're trying to find the limit by going past it, nope, that's not how that works. In real life, we don't find the limit of the car by trying to go past it all the time. We try to progressively get there, and if we go a little bit past it, well, hopefully we didn't destroy the car in the process. So it's all
Yeah.
about that limit exploration. It's really fun. So let's
Well,
go through the final corner.
yeah, I was gonna say let's finish this lap up and we'll get some beers.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so again, coming to this final one, you did a great job here. You did get in a little early here, like almost every single time. I would have really preferred you stay more track left here around the white line, and then we just come in all at once and get the exit. but you did do a really good job on exit here every time, anticipating. Like, see, you knew that it was going to go loose there because we told you about it right over the crest. The front bites, the rear unloads, and we get some of that rotation, but you knew to catch it. So like you kind of just like flat slide the car and catch it right perfectly every time. If you don't know that that's going to happen, and you're like, oh, why did I spin? Well, now you understand the physics, so you know to anticipate it. And you know the motion sim you can kind of feel that through the seat with the car kind of floating, and then all of a sudden you can feel it catch in the seat. That's what's working and how that helps you feel through that.
Greg, back that up and play it one more time.
Sure.
So never being at Oulton Park, like you said, you turning in late, go ahead. So if you were up another half a car width, turning in a little bit later, you can see the ground falls away harsh, maybe even more harsh there than, so that
Yeah, he's
timing
pointing
event,
over here.
yeah, so to the left of you right now, Wayne, the ground falls off further. So that sense of timing is going to be exacerbated and it's going to pay dividends or death. So
Yeah.
one of the things that's amazing in it, this is a really well laid out track. This track is made to make you feel good on the inside, which is the wrong spot to be.
Yeah, it's difficult to run the
Yeah.
correct line. And
Yeah.
what's the reason I didn't want to, one, it was kind of a complicated concept to explain in the middle of a race, and I didn't want to overload you with information. I'm like, all right, let's just save this one until afterwards. But even if I did explain it to you and I told you to turn in later, you probably would have spun on your first time because you would have gone later, the car would have unloaded, and then it would have spun. So it was several steps of a practice thing that I didn't want you to try during the race. What you're doing is fine. It wasn't fast, but like this is something that like if we had another hour here, I would have you come in and practice. You know, maybe we screw up the first 3-4 times, and then we find it, and then we found a bunch of time. But I'm not having you throw a race away to try to get it right for two laps.
Yep.
We were all on the same page, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Great
So,
job, Wayne. Really, really, honestly, great job.
Appreciate it,
Yeah.
guys. Fun.
Yeah, that was it. So, P4 out of 12. You haven't
Yeah.
been in the sim in a while, so that was pretty solid. You had a lot of fun. High heart rate of 173 beats per minute. I will not tell your cardiologist or Amanda that's what happened today, but you had
Yeah.
fun, so that's a good sign.
Go ahead and make fun of me in the comments.
Yeah. So, all right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming out today, guys. I hope everyone had fun, and I hope everyone watching hopefully learned something. Let us know in the comments what you think here. We'll try to do more of these Zero to Heroes. I'm sure we'll get Wayne back in at some point, maybe driving this or something else, and we'll get some other people in the seat with me out here coaching.
I'll run with you guys at any time from this side. There's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see everyone next time. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.